That's when I really take a deep breath that day. And then say, come on dude, give me a break. We'll see. So let us, anyway, his enthusiasm is there, and let us put our hands together for Toastmasters International CC, who is affecting his community.
Love is the most dangerous four-letter word on planet Earth. Apart from bomb. Of course, everyone's scared of weapons nowadays. What is love? Love is that condition where a person manipulates the other by showing affection, by showing feelings, in return for, let's say, food, gratification, or even worldly pleasures. There Toastmasters, love is different kinds. Between a parent and a child, between siblings, or even between pets and their owners. But today, as I stand here in front of you, I am going to speak about none of those. I am going to speak instead of love between two individuals, totally unrelated. And I am going to put in a special little mention for you of the results that I obtained after scientifically experimenting and unraveling this mystery. And I hope that by the end of this session, I would have presented a cogent enough theory for you to relive your old loves, the memories of your old loves, and also to remember what not to do when you're searching for true love. And if you have found love, how to keep it. It all started on a rainy day in the month of August of 2009. I was in my first year of college. Because of the rains, it was beautiful. The buildings were half wet and half dry. There were flowers blooming all around, and water sprinkled on you when you walk past trees and as the wind blew through the leaves. It was there that I was speaking to a few of my friends from the pharmacy college. And then I saw her. It was like the lens going in and coming out. Her eyes were like drops of mercury on the tabletop. And her smile on the face, that was like the perfect solution that you get when you drop exactly the right amount of alkali from the pipette into the fluid. My first true love. It was magical. How do I describe it? We got chatting. Every waking moment was spent texting each other. We went out for lunches, dinners. Till commitment issues sprang up. She said I was too clingy. Well, it was my first. She said, oh, I love what you do. But do you really have to do it so much? You know, there's a saying which says, if you love someone, let them go. If they return back, they were always yours. Word of advice, don't ever try that. And if they don't come back, do not ever get drunk and dial them back. Lesson learned. 1. Rainy days and cafe coffee days are not the place to start a relationship. Like all other stock markets, this relation is subject to weather risks. Lesson number 2. Don't be too clingy. You should stay the right amount of aloof. If you're too clingy, your partner will think you're overprotective. If you stay too aloof, they'll think you're not interested. Figure out how to balance that. Which brings me to the point where I took a strong resolve not to fall in love again. And it worked. For 6 months. And then there was a panoramic zoom and back. It was for the love of language. I used to write and she used to read. But even that reached a point where I was doing most of the talking and she was, Mom. And I used to say things that irritated her. For instance, one day she asked me, how much do you love me? I said, I love you so much. I love you with all my heart. But I wanted to say heart, but the heart is definitely bigger than the heart. Honesty being exhibited by a guy doesn't get appreciated. Trust me. And they say honesty is the key to all relationships, but only if you fake it. Lesson learned. When you want to say things out loud, shut up. Because everything and anything you say will be misconstrued, distorted, and used against you. The judge will be the lady you antagonized, and the jury will be your mates, and you will have no way out, my friend. You should all think that after all this, I would have been devastated. But the power of the human will, well, that and alcohol, fueled me on. And I finally am glad to stand in front of you and say that I have found my true love. And it's the lady I want to spend the rest of my life with. But after all this, if you ask me how I know, I mean, I just gave you examples of telling you can't. But if you ask me how I know, well, one, the emotions are so intense that they are unmatched by anything you see in the movies or on TV. There is a deep understanding that I have to be the one to say sorry always, no matter whose fault it is. And third, I have to learn to shut up. Period. Because when push comes to shove and when reality sinks in, I mean, it's not just for us who are unmarried, but for all the Toastmasters who are. You have to realize that when you finally decide that you have met the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, that is when you find true love. Because true love is grand. And a divorce is 100 grand.